Hi everyone, you're welcome to MyProfessorNote. So today we are covering the age of Elizabeth in a detailed manner. We will try to cover it up. All right. So this is the fifth part of the history of English literature. I hope you are liking it and it is helping you in your journey to qualify net. If it is doing, so don't forget to appreciate the effort with your one like, one share, and one subscribe. Let's move on further. So age of Elizabeth started in the 1558 and ended in the 1603. This is the time period when we really live the Renaissance period. Age of arrival was just merely the beginning. These people were just trying to learn this age, that what it is about. They have just rediscovered this new knowledge of ancient Greek, and now they are just busy in knowing that what this thing is. And now in age of Elizabeth, they were ready to dive in and to experiment it with these things for real. Okay, so Queen Elizabeth, let's talk about her. She is a really important character here because whatever happened, whatever is happening, it's just because of this lady, right? She has given freedom. She is the one who is in the love with literature, art, and all these forms, especially with the drama, with the theatre. So before her, her sister, the Queen Mary, was the queen, and she was her rival because she was Catholic. Now, Queen Elizabeth was Protestant. I think we earlier have talked about this, what Catholic is and what Protestant is. So Catholic is the original Christian church started by the Jesus Christ, right? But these people became so corrupted, they start selling indulgences. Indulgences means here that you pay a certain amount of money and they will form a certain practice in the church and your sins will be reduced. I mean, just pay the money. The more you pay, more your sins will be reduced. I mean, how it can be possible? Surely this is a corruption, right? Then in Germany, the Martin Luther, he is the one who said that you have no need to go to these churches. You stay back at home. You read your Bible. You do your karma. That's it. And he is the father of Protestantism. It's a more of a rational thinking towards religion rather than following it blindly in all its corrupted ways, right? So she's the one who followed the Protestant church and Queen Mary is the Catholic. And because of these things, there was a rival between both of these sisters, both the daughter of Henry VIII, right? Now, Queen Elizabeth, also known as the Virgin Queen, right? Because she remained virgin, she never married. She chose not to marry in order to protect England's security. She wanted to remain independent of any foreign influence which marrying a foreigner prince would have brought. That's why she never married. Alright, and you don't worry, I will be sharing this PDF file with you on the Telegram channel. There you will also get quiz on it, so make sure you join the Telegram channel. It's a link you will get below in the description box. So now about something is historical event. There is one of the famous event which is the Spanish Armada, which happened in the 1588, and it is because of the religious and political differences, because Spain was a Catholic nation and England is Protestant. So your Philip II, he's the one who planned invasion of England, right? Spanish Armada was the world's greatest navy at the time, and they were defeated because of this strong in a sea and determined English army. All right, and when this happened, the Spanish knew England as a competitor in trade and expansion in the new world of Americas. Though, so Spanish also look at them as their competitors because this is the time when Queen Elizabeth was giving these people freedom to do the discoveries, finding the new horizons, right? In each and every single thing. It's not merely in the literature, in the art, in architecture, in science, every single way, right? And this, when Spanish Armada, they won the battle in 1588, it resulted in English domination at sea. Before that, they have these competitors, the Spain Now there is no one. They are defeated, and Elizabeth encouraged voyages of discovery, such as Sir Francis Drake. You must have heard about him. Circumnavigation of the world, and Sir Walter Raleigh's expeditions to the North American coast, right? So now they are the one who is ruling at sea. Now, because why it's really important to see, because when we read these historical events, they are related with the society, and literature is the reflection of society, and it helps us in understanding the very temperament of that age, and it will be reflected in its work. Sometimes we cannot read just each and every single writer, right? This is really tough for us to cover up every single writer. But if we just read about this age, its characteristics, its features, its historical event, what was really happening during this period, so it becomes quite easy for us to understand the works. All right, brief about the period. Okay, so Elizabethan age is considered the golden age of England. English writers were heavily influenced by Italian Renaissance. As we said, in age of Ravel, that was merely the beginning, but the main age of Renaissance we were living this in this period, right? Introduction of new genre in English theatre, the tragic comedy, right? Like Merchant of Venice, one example, Your Winter Tale, right? Consider the era of sonnets. So who brought sonnets? Let's talk about. Thomas Wyatt is the one who introduced sonnet into English literature, right? He brought them from Italy. Petrarch is the one who invented them. He's the first. So, and they are modified by Shakespeare. So Petrarchan sonnets had this octave, 8 lines and 6 line sestet. But now Shakespeare's sonnets have 3 quatrains, means 3 stanzas with 4 lines, and last one ends with a couplet. And Total's Miscellany, published in the 1557, it was the collection of the 54 sonnet, right? It was the first book about the sonnet. Okay, so about sonnet here, the one thing is its theme is always love. You dedicate them to your lover. So Petrarchan dedicated them to his beloved Laura. So yes, Shakespeare to his Dark Lady. Now let's talk about some of the very important writers of the age. Edmund Spencer, 1552, born in 1599. His master was Chaucer, that's what he said, and he is the first national poet after Chaucer, right? These are the questions sometimes asked. So, right, these are some random questions having objective approach. The Shepherd's Calendar, 1579, is the work which is published in 1579. This is one of the first pastoral works we have. Pastoral work is about a folk life, your country life, talking about common people, right? And it's influenced by Virgil's Eclogue. So here they talk about, there in Shepherd's Calendar we have 12 poem. Like for every single month there is a one poem, right? For whole year. So in January it started with the unhappy love story of Colin. He was in love with Rosalind, but she rejected him. Poor Colin. We can feel the pain if any one of you were rejected, so you can surely feel that how does it make you feel. Alright. So April calls for a song in praise of Elizabeth. In the month of April, they praise the Elizabeth in this poem. In May, they talk about Reformation. So make sure you remember all these points because they are really important from your exam point of view. Now let's talk about the Phoeni Queen. This is one of the most important work. Alright. So the first 3 part published in the 1519 and 4th, 5th, 6th part came in 1596. This is dedicated to the Elizabeth, right? Represented by Phoeni Queen, Gloriana, and also by one of the character Belfoeve. So both of these characters represent Elizabeth. Dedicated to Elizabeth. Book 1, there we have 6 books, and 6 book have the 6 virtues represented by the particular character. This is the allegorical work. What is the allegorical work? Where complex things. Sometimes they try to explain them through these symbolic figures. So like maybe he was finding it quite tough to let you know that what is the virtue of holiness. So they try to show you a character, the way they behave. This is how the people with the virtue of holiness will behave. So you always take a symbolic figure to show that, to explain this complex meaning, right? Sometimes maybe you are angry, right? You want to explain that what anger is, so you will put your finger towards the person who is angry, right? So holiness is the first book. This is the first book represent the holiness virtue with the Red Cross Knight. He is the Red Cross Knight, represent the holiness virtue in the book first. And the book 2, temperance virtue, is represented by the Sir Guion. In the book 3, chastity, represented by the Britomart. In the fourth book, Campbell and Telamond represent the friendship. Virtue of justice is represented by the Sir Article, and Britomart is in love with the article. This is what we read when, if we will be in further videos, for sure we'll be dealing with this poem in the detail in a subjective manner. But her main purpose is to go through this age, following this objective and subjective approach together, but dealing with a work in a full detailed manner. It will be hours video. Okay, now we have book 6, Virtue of Courtesy, represented by the Sir Calidore, written in the Spenserian stanza. So Spenserian stanza was invented by the Spenser for sure to write this poem here. Edmund Spencer, another work is the Amoretti, 1595 published, 89 sonnets, dedicated to Elizabeth Boyle, his girl, his fiancée or his wife. Epithalamion, 1595, wedding hymns to his bride Elizabeth Boyle. So couple, love, and all these things. Colin Cloud, Come Home Again, 1595. These are another poem will be asked, because we have to cover just each and every major and minor work of the writer here. Mother Hubbard's Tale, 1591 published. Another one is the Astrophil. This is the elegy on the death of Sidney, 1591. This was dedicated to his wife, his widow wife, right? But it was written on the death of Sidney in the 1591. So make sure you remember all these details, right? Now let's talk about the Philip Sidney, born in 1504 and died in 86. Young led in the war, in the Battle of Jetfun. He died. Defends poetry in his essay Apology for Poetry from the accusations made by the Stephen Gozon in his School of Abuse, 1579. Right, so School of Abuse is written in the 1579. Here he made few accusations about the poetry, and he dedicated it to Sidney. And then Apology for Poetry is a reply from Sidney's side. This published in the 1595, but even though it was written in the 1580, right after this attack on him from Stephen Gozon. Now we have Astrophil and Stella. Astrophil is a shepherd. Astrophil means star lover, and he is in love with Stella, who is the star. Actually, this is about these real characters. What is being said, that the star lover Astrophil is Sidney, and the Stella, who is a star, who is he in love with, is the Lady Penelope. So you make sure you remember all these details. They are really important details, right? Let's talk about another work of the Philip Sidney. This is the Arcadia, dedicated to his sister Mary Herbert, the Countess of Pembroke. Was a work in the new genre of prose romance. It traces the adventures of the Princess Pyrocles and Musidorus and the fortunes of the Duke of Arcadia, Basilis. This Basilius is the Duke of Arcadia, right? And this is one of the work of the Philip Sidney, dedicated to his sister Mary Herbert. These are some of the details that we need to remember, right? Because they have a very objective approach. Because there is no particular publishing date, so we didn't mention that here. Now, let's talk about these university wits. There we have all seven university wits. Most of the time, there is only six wits, because these are the one who were studying in university. There is no clue about Thomas Kidd. He was from no university. So Christopher Marlowe, Robert Greene, and Thomas Nash, these three were from the Cambridge University. Thomas Lodge, George Pillay, and John Lilly were from the Oxford University. They come together and form this group of university wits. During that time, there was no group like this. This term is invented in the 19th century, right? Uh, let's move on further. Now here we will be discussing these plays and work of all these university wits, right? I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cover everything in a detailed manner from this net perspective, right? I'm just trying to put this effort in, and my motivation is your love and appreciation that you share with me through these numbers. When I see increasing, like if a creator gets like, it's a great inspiration. That gives you motivation that there is someone who is really liking the work, right? If you get thumbs down, surely it hurts, but when you get a thumbs up, it gives you that motivation. Do it, right? Create more video, better. There is always a place to improve. I cannot say that I'm making one of the best videos now, for sure not, maybe, but I will keep improving. We all improve, right? So I will do. The motivation comes only from that appreciation. So don't you forget to appreciate ever someone's effort, right? So Temberline the Great, 1590, published by the Christopher Marlowe, written in the two parts. His ambition, all his characters are written are in they have the spirit of Renaissance. They have ambition for more. So what Renaissance is, it's about broadening the horizons, discoveries, searching, inventions, and this is what these people are. They are coming from nowhere and becoming something. Now you just take Temberline. He rises from a Scythian shepherd to the emperor of Persia. A shepherd becoming emperor, and you cannot become a, a JRF. You cannot get your JRF after doing your masters in English literature. For sure you can do it. Scythian shepherd becoming emperor Persia. Whatever hurdle there is, he is just killing it down. That's what he's doing, right? Written in two parts. Ambition to gain power. So first part ends with the wedding of Tamburlaine and his wife Genocrate. Killed his son Caliphus because he has these feminine qualities. He was not interested in the war and battle. He was sitting in his tent during a battle, and he couldn't see it, he couldn't bear it, and he went and killed him. That if you cannot be a warrior, right? Why do I want a boy having the qualities of a girl? Right? You cannot even fight. Setting is the Persepolis. Make sure you remember these details here, right? Ambition to gain power. Setting is Persepolis. Scythian shepherd became emperor of Persia. First part ends with the wedding of Temberline and Genocrate killed his son Caliphus, right? 1519, written in two parts. Okay, now the Jew of Malta. At the very beginning, when someone told me this play, I was hating Malta and I was feeling sympathy for Farnese. Farnese is your governor of Malta. But the moment I got to know, the story is a bit different. It's totally different. Malta is a person who was just happy and satisfied with his infinite riches in his little room, right? So what happened there, that these Turks were asking these Maltese people to pay the revenue, to pay the money for their wars, and when this Malta, he denied to pay the money, then they abuse him of racist claims, right? That he is the one who is from this different religion, because there is a battle between the Christian and Jews. This is what he is trying to depict here, right? He didn't want to pay, and then the governor Farnese, he came and extort his money. And how can someone bear if someone just come and extort your money? He doesn't want to pay for your wars. right? And this is the beauty about his play, that the same character is the villain and the same character is the protagonist, and I really love it. I mean, this is how a person should be. That it shows. What does it show? It shows that a person can be anything. Person is not always good in quality. A person can be bad. And this, when someone tried to put a reality, the work became so much beautiful. There's ups and downs, and there should be ups and downs in life. If your life is flowing on a similar level, it's not interested. It must be in a zigzag way. It must, you you must go up, you must fall down. This is the beauty of life. You should live it. Joy, suffering does not matter, right? Just stay alive. And this is the beauty of his play. You feel that power. This is the spirit of Renaissance. Excitement, full of life, right? This is the famous tragedy of the rich Jew of Malta, is a tale of violent conflict between Christians, Jew, and Turks. Its hero villain, Barbus, a wealthy Jew. The play was first performed around 1592 and first published in his edition of the 1633, dying in a boiling cauldron as the Christian deny him mercy. So he was conspiring this, and he had a plan to kill the governor or kill these people, and that he want to make them fall down in the cauldron, but he fell in his own trap. So setting is the Malta. All right, and the real story, as I told you, that Malta, the Barbarous, he is not a bad character, right? I mean, he is a common person. A person can be bad, a person can be right, a person can be anything, and this is what he is trying to show here. And he is ambitious about gaining wealth, right? So now let's talk about the characters here. Abigail, his daughter, became Christian nun. Lodovico is the Abigail Christian lover. Farnese, governor of Malta, plans to extort money from island Jews. Ithamo, his slave, in love with Belmira. Belmira is a prostitute. Machiavel, speaker of the prologue. Machiavelli characters are, they are deceitful. They are someone else on a face, and inside they are somebody else, right? So says, first count religion, but a childish toy, and hold there is no sin but ignorance. This is the prologue. This is what he say. The Machiavelli character, Machiavel, right? He is the speaker of the prologue. So make sure you remember it, right? Ithamor is the slave. Farnese is the governor of Malta. Lodovic is Abigail, Christian lover, and he designed the trap for his death. Who? Barbus. Then we have Dr. Fostus. Dr. Fostus was first performed around 1588 and first published in the 1604, called the A Text, right? So Dr. Foster is ambitious for knowledge. All his character has ambition, some for power and wealth and knowledge. It means beyond the horizon. This is what Renaissance is, going beyond your limit, and that's what it shows. That's why I am telling you, if you get the essence of an age, if you get the essence of that particular society about which we are reading the works, about which we are reading the literature, we can get a lot. If you miss the writer, if you missed its work, but if you have read the age, the society in a particular manner, you will take out the marks, right? Appeared in revised edition in 1616 and 1631, called the B Text. So make sure there is the two version of it. The first one, which was performed earlier, that is A Text, which was performed later, that is a B Text, written in the blank verse. Homofuge, this is the word came when he was trying to sell his soul. He was trying to sign the bond with the Mephistopheles, with the blood. So he has to cut his arm, and when he was cutting it, there came up few words on his arm. Homofuge, which means say fly man, run away, O human, right? Which appears on his arms. All right. So this is the for sure a tragic play, and the tragic hero is John. Fostus is the brilliant German scholar, eminent scholar of theology, medicine, and metaphysics in Wittenberg University. He knows a lot, but he was just done with it. He wanted to know more beyond the horizons, right? makes a pact signed in blood with the evil spirit Mephistopheles to sell his soul to the devil in exchange for 24 years of service. Lucifer gives Fostus a life of pleasure, right? Life of pleasure, magical power, and illicit knowledge of the secrets of the universe. And he was doing all the silly things during these 24 years, right? Not behaving consciously. Foster soliloquy in Act 1. Make sure you remember these things, right? Soliloquy in Act 1 on the vanity of human science. On what there is a soliloquy in the Act 1 on the vanity of the human. Now we have the characters of it. Wellness and Cornelius, two of his friend, well versed in the practice of magic. They are the one who helps him learning this black magic. Now, good angels and bad angels. These are the two characters we always have seen them in a black dress and a white dress sitting on two of the shoulder, one saying you follow this path, another saying don't follow this path, but he go with the bad angels who encouraged him to go on the path of evil. Now there's a three scholars. The old man tries to compel. There's another character is the old man. He is the one who compelled Fostus to repent shortly before his 24 years are over. He was trying to make him feel bad. You repent now, may God forgive. But he didn't. That's what we do when we are under the temptation. We give in. And I think the slavery of the temptation is one of the worst form of slavery. To be slave to your temptations, that things that you don't want to do inside, but it's the thing, that pleasure, that dopamine, that kick that you get by following these bars of temptation. You do it for the sake of that, and then you really regret later. He regretted, even though just after signing this bond of selling his soul to the evil, he repent. But then Mephistopheles just make him, talk about here all these things which he may get now. So this is how he take his mind out of that regret. Wagner is Foster's prideful, ambitious servant. Now we have the mute characters here. Darius, Alexander the Great, Alexander the Paramour, Helen the Troy. Helen the Troy, he said this one line that is this the face that launched the 1,000 ships and burned the Tower of Ilium, right? Piper is another character. Dido Queen of Carthage, right? This is another play here. Published in the 1594. Source is the Virgil's Aeneid. The goddess Venus complains that Jupiter has been neglecting this. The Venus is here the mother of the Aeneas, and now Aeneas is on his way, and there is a storm. So she complains to Jupiter that please calm down the storm, so he may land safely at the place where he wants to go. Right? So he calms down the storm. Now Aeneas meet with other surviving Trojans who have been receiving hospitality from Dido, but now Dido is the queen of Carthage. She having affection for Larbus, right? But the Venus wants Cupid to make her fall in love with Aeneas, so he did that, right? This is what this play is about. Make sure you remember the character names and its source and the publishing date, and for sure the writer. Now we have the Edward II is another play by him, right? Marlowe portrays the king downfall as a result of his love for his favorite Gaveston and Spenser. So this is the homoerotic, there is a homoerotic relationship in this play, homosexual, and this is why people having a doubt about his interest, that he was more interested towards men, So this is what he is trying to depict here, that there is a king, he is in love with the men, right? Gaveston and Spenser. Because of that, he is neglecting his queen. Why would he love then queen if he is interested in a man? And then why would the queen love him back if he is interested in a man, not in her? So she is now in relationship with another man because she wants somebody to love her, and his name is Mortimer, right? And now, because of all this problem there, he is paying no attention to his responsibility, but he's just busy in his self-fulfillment, having pleasure for the sake of this physical pleasure. He's doing all these silly things, and there is a war and a lot of things happening in between. So in between happening a lot of things, he was imprisoned, right? The Edward II was imprisoned, and he was taken to the Berkeley Castle. There he was killed by Lightborn. Lightborn is this is Lucifer, who is disguised as a Lightborn here, right? And the play exposed the tragic tensions between sexual passion and marriage, royal responsibility and self-fulfillment, taking no royal responsibility, just busy in having his self-fulfillments. This is what Edward II does, and that's how his end was, right? And now let's talk about the Robert Greene here. Robert Greene is the another writer of the University Wits. One of his work is the Gross Wrath of Wit. In this work, he write few lines for Shakespeare. This work published in the 1592, an upstart crow beautified with our feathers, that this is us who paved the way for him, and this is he now having the advantages of these things. He is enjoying his success because of us. We are the one, right? Sophia Bacon and Fia Bunge is the another play, 1594. Genre is the comedy. Now let's talk about the another writer of the University Wits. This is John Lyly. Euphues, The Anatomy of Wit, 1578. This is the comedy prose. Lyly adopted the name from Roger Ascham's The Schoolmaster, invented the term euphuism, which means the elegant way of writing or speaking. Instead of saying he is dead, you always say he is no more. Instead of saying oh hello, you say excuse me, right? Euphues and His England is the another work on the same lines, published in the 1580. Endymion is another one. The full name is the Endymion, the Man in the Moon, published in the 1588. So make sure you remember all these minor works and the minor writers of this age as well, right? Secret to JRF and qualify your net. Now we have Thomas Nash. He is the one to write this novel, Unfortunate Traveler. This is the beginning of novel, right? The first novel we have of this age. The Life of Jack Wilton, 1594, published. This is the picaresque novel. Picaresque is there we have a character, right, who is coming from the low class, right? The one of the example, if I give you, you must have seen Amitabh Bachchan, right, coming from the low class, and he is one doing things who does not give a damn about the rules of society. They do things whatever they want to do, but they make us fall in love with them. We appreciate them, because you must have seen Amitabh Bachchan, the way he does in some of his movie, right? That they are coming from the lower class, they are doing the robbery, they are the thieves, they are robbing money from the banks, but later on they are giving it to the poor people. They are helping them, right? One of the example, your picaresque saga, the gangs of Wazifu, बाप का, भाई का, दादा का, सबका बदला, right? So this is a Picaro character, right? Picaresque novel. So you can have these examples. With these examples, you can understand them, right? We call them bastard. These characters, sometimes these terms are used, coming from the low class and doing things whatever they want to, not following the rules in society, whatever rules are there, right? They do things whatever they want to, but we have affection for them the moment we see them on screen. Don Juan, right? It is on the same line. Set during the reign of Henry VIII of England. Goes Munster, Germany, with Henry, Earl of Surrey. So Henry, Earl of Surrey is his companion with whom he goes to Munster here, right? So make sure this is set during the reign of Henry VIII of England. And when they went to Germany, they meet Erasmus and Thomas More. They are working on their masterpieces. Erasmus on his Praise of Folly, and Thomas More on his Utopia. Another one we have the Thomas Lodge. The Wounds of Civil War is his work. 1594 published. A Looking Glass for London and England. He wrote this in collaboration with Robert Greene, right? Minor characters, minor works, but a really important one. So the last one is the George Pillay. No, last one is the Thomas Kidd that we will do in the another slide here. So George Pillay, his works is the Edward one, 1593. Old Wives' Tale, and this is one of his famous work. Old Wives' Tale is one of his famous work, published in the 1595. First English work this is to satirize the romantic drama. So make sure you remember this. This is the first English work here to satirize the romantic dramas. Play within a play. So there is these three characters. Two of them fell asleep. Then there is a hostess who is telling a story, right? And her characters of the story came to the life, and now they are telling her. And this is what play within a play here, right? There is a magician, Scrapent, who is compared to the Milton's Comus, right? So make sure you remember these minor details. Now we have Thomas Kyd, Spanish Tragedy, 1594. This is one of the famous play we have. It was, and this is one of the great tragedy, right? Influenced by the Senecan blood tragedy. You must have read the Senecan bloody tragedies. One of is the Medea, where the woman is is being, what do I say? Her husband is want to become politician. He betrayed her, and now to hurt him, she killed her own son. He threw them down from the roof. Cruelty, murder, all these things are there. Like it's impossible. It's really tough to see this play or hear this story. A person with a weak heart cannot bear, right? I mean, they are really tragic in nature. This is the revenge tragedy, play within a play. Solomon and Preseda is a play within a play. So this is the play which is formed because the Don Andrea is the one who is killed, and now he bemoans his revenge on the Balthazar. He wanted to kill him, and he is now dead. That's his soul which is there, which is coming for revenge. And Belle Imperia is his beloved. Now there is another character which is the Hieronimo. His son is Horatio. Now Horatio is in love with the Belle Imperia, but he is killed by the Balthazar because Balthazar also have eye on Belle Imperia. So Lodovico and Balthazar killed the Horatio, and Hieronimo, his father, went mad, and they set up this play Solomon and Preseda. Instead of using the fake knife, they used the real one, and they killed the Balthazar, Lodovico, and another character here, right? So this is influenced by the Senecan bloody tragedies. There we have a play within a play, Solomon and Preseda. Solomon is the Balthazar, and Preseda is the Belle Imperia here, right? So make sure you remember all these things. So this is the end. Shakespeare is a big fish. We will catch him in the next video in another part of the Elizabethan period, because now this video is becoming really long. Okay, so we will cover the remaining other writers and the Shakespeare in the separate video, because Shakespeare is a big bull. He is a big thing. We cannot cover him up within this one single video. Like all his plays, all his influences, all his work need to be discussed in a particular manner, all the quotes, all the characters from this net perspective. Alright, I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked my effort. If I did any mistake, if you find any loopholes, please discuss them in the comment section below. I will surely do the improvements. Make sure you share the video, you like it, and subscribe it, because this is from where the real motivation comes. So till then time, be consistent, have discipline. My Professor Note, signing off.